Hey guys, and welcome to our first ever edition of a segment that we don't have a name for yet, but it is a segment where we sit on the couch and we talk about the tech stories that we didn't have a chance to cover throughout the week, but we feel are important enough to talk about, starting with a story that's kind of genius and kind of terrible. I can't decide.
I think it's genius. So this guy, this U.S. developer, he's already making six figures, and he decided that he's going to outsource his job to China, giving them a fifth of his salary to do his job for him, so he could go into work and just hang out on Reddit, look at eBay, and just kind of mess around and not do any work.
Yeah, so I think the way he did this was that he basically subcontracted his work to somebody in China for much less. So he was able to keep the bulk of his salary, but not actually do anything.
Yeah, just gave him his VPN access so they could just do it. They could log in remotely and work for him. But he also was a genius because he contracted for other companies and outsourced those jobs to China.
Yeah, so it's resourceful.
Yeah,
I'll give him that.
I'm gonna outsource this job to China. Yeah. I'm gonna call up the Henson Creature Shop and have them make a puppet. Just do that. All right.
What's up next?
Next there was a story about this guy named Wayne Dobson, this poor guy in Vegas. Basically, a lot of people who are losing their cell phones on Sprint, it will track a GPS to his house, saying the phone is at this guy's house, and he's 59 years old, and he's a retiree, and he's not really computer savvy at all. He's not going out and stealing the phones. It's just a bug in Sprint's system. But people are constantly knocking at his door saying, "Where's my phone?" and jumping over his fence and like sneaking in his backyard.
Has he ever been like assaulted or threatened?
That
could be dangerous.
No, he hasn't been. I don't think he's been assaulted, but I definitely know that he's called people in and be like, "Come on into my house, sit down. You can go ahead and look. I'll call the cops for you so they can come in and even they can investigate. But you're not going to find any phones here." And unfortunately, Sprint hasn't really fixed it for him yet. This has been going on for quite a while.
For Wayne Dobson, though, this would be a good opportunity for him if he had no scruples to actually start stealing people's phones, because no one would suspect Wayne Dobson at this point.
No.
All right, this is an interesting one. Now, Yelp has partnered with local authorities to add hygiene scores to restaurant reviews starting in San Francisco and New York. In addition to all of the information that you currently get on Yelp, you'll also be seeing what their score is, and it's like the A to the F system, but actually I think they're doing numbers now.
They're doing numbers. It's 1 to 100. A through F is like what they're doing in Los Angeles. But I don't know if knowing a restaurant's number is going to deter me from going there if it has a high Yelp score. Like
if it has like a 95 versus a 92.
Yeah, even that. If a Yelp review is like 4.5, 5 stars and their number is 65 because they accidentally put a rat in someone's soup once, that was one time.
Yeah, it's just another thing for Yelpers to
they complain about. I love Yelp reviews. All right. Well, this next one is kind of funny. So, you know how the White House has all those petitions, and it seems like every week there's a new petition thing. Well, a bunch of people decided that a bunch of '90s Uber nerds decided that they wanted to petition the White House for every state to have their own official Pokemon. Why? Why are you doing that? Why are you wasting the White House's time? Like, we don't need Pikachu for New York.
They also recently dramatically increased the number of signatures you need to have to get an official response from the White House. And partly, we think, this is because a couple weeks back they had this Death Star petition that got enough signatures, and I think it was 25,000.
You needed 25,000, and now it's at 100,000.
Yeah, and I guess the petition was to have the government build a Death Star, right?
Build a Death Star, yeah.
And the White House came out with, they had to because they reached the threshold, they came out with this pretty funny response, and then they raised the threshold to, I think, 100,000.
Yeah, and I think the whole Pokemon thing was started because they wanted a response from the White House talking about Pokemon, but I think a bunch of people pointed out, look, this is going to be a decade removed. The person answering it isn't going to know any of your 90s Pokemon trivia. Like Star Wars, everyone knows. Nobody, like older people don't know Pokemon other than.
Really?
I would say a lot of the people writing the answers to the petition, I don't think they're playing the Pokemans too much.
True. It's pretty funny though.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Finally, now we're just kind of throwing this in because we covered the story a couple weeks ago, but there was this app, Make Me Asian, and people were angry about it and offended because it was this just kind of really campy, dumb app where you have your picture and then it slaps a bunch of stereotypes on you. They had one for Asian, they had one for Irish, one for Russian. There was also one that would make you fat.
Oh, no.
But anyway, so there was a petition circulating to have this app removed from the Google Play Store, and it worked. The developer, Kimberly Dice, their entire profile has been removed, so they have no more apps in the Google Play Store. So,
shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking. All right.
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. Well, I mean, I guess that covers the bulk of or at least the most interesting stories that we didn't.
That is all of the tech news.
There was more. There was way more tech news than that. You know that. But these are the fun stories that we wanted to cover, but they weren't like pressing enough, so we just saved them for the weekend.
Yeah.
So you guys get to see them.
Yeah, and if you have any suggestions for what we should call this, leave them in the comments, and we just might go with your. If we do go with your suggestion, we'll send you a shirt.
We will definitely send you a shirt.
All right. See you guys next week.